Now, whether you hate or love actress Gwyneth Paltrow, we cannot deny that she catches a lot of flack online. For me personally, I have no eggs in this basket, but today on Inform Overload, I'm still gonna tell you the top 10 reasons everyone seems to hate Gwyneth Paltrow. Coming in at number 10, it's Goop. Over a decade ago, Paltrow launched an extremely controversial brand in the wellness industry. This brand is known as Goop. Now, initially, according to the actress, she started Goop because, and I quote, "When you go to Paris and your concierge sends you to some restaurant because they get a kickback, it's like, no, where should I really be? Where is the great bar with organic wine? Where do I get a bikini wax in Paris?" That was her reason. Gwyneth used this site to become a lifestyle expert and wellness guru, but aimed almost specifically at the rich. For example, she shared her picks for spring wardrobe must-haves with Goop readers, and if you decided to actually buy every one of her recommendations, you'd have to shell out nearly $500,000. These must-haves included $800 Valentino iPad cases, $3,570 leather jackets, $1,150 Gucci sunglasses, and a $475 hand-woven pair of shorts. But Goop has also been condemned as potentially harmful, devoid of any actual scientific and medicinal value, and most of its recommendations and even products are based very heavily on pseudoscience. Elise Lonin, Chief Content Officer at Goop, or former Chief Content Officer at Goop, stepped away from the company and posted to Instagram about the distorted and punishing relationship that she developed to her own body as a result of the toxic cleanse culture that the company pushes. Now, Netflix even produced a show called Goop Lab where Gwyneth and her team push the things featured on her site and promote others like a crystal healer who can apparently help people with severe psychological trauma and PTSD simply by hovering his hands over them. So, nice. Number 9, it's what she sells on Goop. As well as promoting pseudoscience wellness methods, a lot of people take issue with how the actress makes a profit from peddling a whole lot of alternative medicine products that range from just being generally worthless all the way to things that could actually be really harmful and even potentially take the life of the person using it. She faced fallout from her fanbase when two of her products, the Jade Egg and the Barbells, were being sold with the completely made up benefit that the products could balance hormones, regulate menstrual cycles, increase bladder control, and even relieve depression. Obviously, these products were not scientifically backed, and Gwyneth faced lawsuits for that back in 2018. The Jade Egg specifically is problematic as jade is highly porous, meaning the egg would very likely absorb harmful bacteria and bodily fluids and could potentially cause toxic shock syndrome. She also sold a candle on her Goop website dubbed, quote, "This smells like my vagina," back in 2020, which many took umbrage with, but for the actress, it was more so a form of dismantling the patriarchy, or at least that's how she described it, which I can understand. I just think it's incredibly meme-worthy, to be honest. She also sells things on her Goop site like a psychic vampire repellent for $27. So do with that what you will. Number 8. The privilege. Yes, actress and entrepreneur Gwyneth Paltrow is a Nepo baby. Her mother is Emmy and Tony-winning actress Blythe Danner, and her father is the late producer and director Bruce Paltrow, though she has managed to eclipse both her parents' fame through both acting and Goop. The Spence School, the one that she went to, is the elite private school for girls located on East 91st Street in Manhattan. It's where Gwyneth Paltrow got her education, and for a lot of people, it was a great example of the privilege that she enjoys. Raised in the expensive brownstones of the Upper East Side with Steven Spielberg as her family friend and even godfather, the nepotism and privilege is strong with this one, I can sense it. And that is displayed in all the ways she is just kind of out of touch. This includes cookbooks with micro portions that would cost people $300 a day to follow, her spring wardrobe picks that we talked about earlier, and boasting about the outdoor wood-burning pizza oven in her backyard. Number 7, her views on nepotism. During the Who's in My Bathroom YouTube show with Hailey Bieber, a fellow Nepo baby, in July of 2022, the Iron Man actress opened up about her thoughts on nepotism in Hollywood. She said, quote, "As the child of someone, you get access other people don't have. So the playing field is not level in that way." So yes, she does understand the advantages her parentage has given her, but to the dismay of those who understand nepotism, she continued, quote, "However, I really do feel that once your foot is in the door, which you unfairly got in, then you almost have to work twice as hard hard to be twice as good, because people are ready to pull you down and say you don't belong here, or quote, you are only there because of your dad or your mom. Now she added that being a nepotism baby shouldn't quote, limit your dreams, and that there is quote, nobody in the world who should have a negative impact on your path or the decision that you make. And now, while I do like the message that she's aiming for, at least with the little last bit there, I think her and most nepotism babies should just accept that you shouldn't complain about your nepotism. Like ever. Don't do that. Number 6. Promoting dangerous eating. During a March 2023 appearance on Dr. Will Cole's The Art of Being Well podcast, Gwyneth is asked about her daily wellness regimen. She then proceeds to tell the interviewer, quote, I usually eat something at about 12, and in the morning, I'll have some things that won't spike my blood sugar, so I have coffee. But I really like soup for lunch, which she then clarified by saying, quote, I have bone broth for lunch, which is very different. This is then followed by an hour of exercise, having consumed pretty much 0 calories, and she tops it all off with an early dinner of just vegetables. The star, who noted it is, quote, really important to support her detox, quickly caught flack from social media users and other celebrities who claimed Paltrow's diet promoted extremely unhealthy eating. Meghan McCain wrote via her Daily Mail, quote, no wonder there is an Ozempic craze sweeping the nation and heroic cheek thinness is back on the fashion runways. This wellness trend is making us sick, and Gwyneth Paltrow is part of the problem. But it wasn't all negative, not fully. Bethany Frankel defended Paltrow, saying, quote, it's not for 18-year-olds. I think it's more for moms, and we all know her shtick. We've been hearing it for years. She's claiming that the actress demographics are primarily other middle-aged mothers, but I still don't know how I feel about that. Number 5. Gym demands. This point kind of tacks on to the privilege portion of the video, but in a since-deleted article, Life and Style magazine reported that Paltrow required the shower stall in an exclusive gym that she frequented to be wiped dry by a worker before she used it. According to their source, she is a germaphobe and refuses to touch somebody else's shower water. Now some might argue that Paltrow's concerns are not that far-fetched, considering many dangerous organisms like athlete's foot, warts, HPV, and MRSA can grow in warm, moist, dark places. But another diva-like demand that Paltrow allegedly had at the gym was that she refused to use toilet paper that anyone else had touched, and made an employee retrieve a new, fresh, unopened roll. I kinda get it, but I also do not get it, like, at all. Some toilet paper dispensers are actually reportedly harboring more bacteria than a toilet seat, but I don't know. Just wash your hands. I'm sure you won't disintegrate from touching the toilet paper. Also, kinda seems like a waste of toilet paper. Number 4. Underpays her staff. Paltrow herself doesn't seem to cut corners when it comes to enjoying the finer things in life, but her staff might be the ones paying the price. Former employees at Goop claim that they were paid at least 40% below the market rate for their roles. Now, Goop employees that complained were reportedly advised to just leave. According to Insider, one former Goop employee said, quote, more than once, people during our stand-up meeting would ask, how would you deal with an employee that's unhappy? And someone in leadership would just say, well, maybe this just isn't the right company for them. The instances of employers underpaying workers is actually a big old problem in the world, with it happening at least 47% of the time. Now, when it comes to the employee experience at Goop, Glassdoor shows that 56% of employees had a negative experience, while only 28% shared their experience was positive. According to employees, it was not uncommon for staffers to be forced out with little to no explanation, and the feedback on Glassdoor ranged from favoritism to high turnover to ineffective management. Yikes. Number 3. Refusing to walk. This is going to be a short one, but hey, it's story time. Let's set the scene. It's April of 2012. Gwyneth's friend designer Stella McCartney is hosting an event at her boutique. Now, this event continued on with a dinner taking place at an eatery only 4 doors down from the venue. Now, while the rest of the guests, including her then husband, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin, Miranda Kerr, and Jane Fonda, who it's worth noting was 74 years old at the time, decided to walk the distance of 4 buildings over. Paltrow, on the other hand, had a different plan. Gwyneth had her chauffeur drive her past all the other guests, and apparently, according to her rep, this was in order to avoid the paparazzi. Well, I get that. Literally everyone else walked, bro. Just chill out. Just chill. It's fine. we're fine. Number 2, beef with the 9-to-5ers. Oh, now this is one that I'm honestly a little on the fence about. After a 2014 interview with Entertainment News, Paltrow was labeled out of touch because she claimed that being a celebrity with children was more difficult than having any office job. During the interview, she said, quote, "I think it's different when you have an office job because it's routine and, you know, you can do all this stuff in the morning and then you come home in the evening. When you're shooting a movie, they're like, we need you to go to Wisconsin for 2 weeks and then you work 14 hours a day, and that part of it is very difficult. I think to have a regular job and be a mom is not as, of course, there are challenges, but it's not like being on set." Now, working in the film industry, I actually totally get what she means, and she does make a valid point. But the problem is that her assumption that all office workers have time to do all of their work in the morning and are home every evening like clockwork has proven to be wholly untrue. Now, she has acknowledged this later, but she said, quote, "A lot of heat was thrown my way, especially by other working mothers who somehow use my out-of-context quote as an opportunity to express feelings, perhaps projected, on the subject. As the mommy wars rage on, I am constantly perplexed and amazed by how little slack we cut each other as women." I don't know, what are your thoughts on this? And finally, in at number 1 today, it is some quotes. For this last point, I have chosen to gather together some quotes from Gwyneth that people have turned their noses up at. Now, take into account these are all taken out of context, obviously, but it doesn't make it any less fun. In August 2005, speaking to the New York Daily News, she said, quote, "I would rather die than let my kids eat cup of soup." In March 2009, speaking to LUK, she said, quote, "I am who I am. I can't pretend to be somebody who makes $25,000 a year." But fair. Speaking to the Daily Mail in September of 2011, she said, quote, "I know people that I respect and admire and look up to who have had extramarital affairs." Cool. Speaking to WSJ Magazine in December of 2018, she said, quote, "I remember when I started doing yoga and people were like, 'What is yoga? She's a witch. She's a freak. It's just yoga, Gwyneth. Chill out.'" Posting on Goop in March of 2014, she also said, quote, "We have always conducted our relationship privately and we hope that as we consciously uncouple, whatever that means, and co-parent, we will be able to continue in the same manner." And last but not least, speaking to Vogue in October 2023, the actress revealed her Best Actress Academy Award, which she won in 1999 for the role in Shakespeare in Love, is used to prop open the entrance to her garden. She said while pointing it out, quote, "My doorstop. It works perfectly." And this one is just hilarious to me. Kind of iconic. I ain't mad about it. And that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. Good job, you made it, woo! It's time to say goodbye, but don't worry, you can catch more top 10s like this right here on Inform Overload. Stay safe and well informed out there.